shocked at the allegations that have come by the seniors. I think it's senior cop or senior something, but saying that I kidnapped my girlfriend, dating an Uber driver, washa guatima, wara, fish paste, yada yada. I don't know, man. It's for me. I'm just complying and appearing and doing what it is. In all cases, anything related to me, it's always God first anyway. Before I step in the room, it's always God. So if anybody's trying to put things together, maybe, formulate something of some case or whatever, then it's fine. It is what it is, and God is there and the truth shall prevail. That's it. Do you think?
Now, I just want to make sure that all of us understand the background to this whole story. So if you remember, Jub Jub was arrested, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday, not a Sunday of Father's Day, but the previous Sunday. He was arrested on kidnapping, defeating the ends of justice, and discharging a firearm in public. This was after he had an altercation with an Uber driver who arrived at his home in Edenvale, bringing his girlfriend. And then Jub Jub, according to the police report, accused the e-hailing driver, the Uber driver, of having a romantic relationship with his girlfriend. And then he forced the driver into his car and stopped him from leaving. And he also discharged a firearm in the direction of the driver. The driver managed to escape unharmed and immediately went to a nearby police station. Now, last week, Jub Jub was given bail, a 5,000 rand bail. He was out on bail. He's still out. And so he appeared on court on Monday, this Monday, today. But I'm sure this video will appear tomorrow. But yes, that's when he arrived in court. And then after the court case, there was a press briefing. And in that press briefing, that's the part of the clip, part of it that you saw at the beginning of this video. There are a few things that he mentions that I would like to discuss. Number one, let me start with the cop. He talks of the senior cop and he's looking in the direction of his lawyer, of course, as he's talking. He says that basically he's trying to say that the cop fabricated the whole thing, that the court actually fabricated the whole thing. And then there was a time when he was asked, did you discharge a firearm, by one of the reporters at the press briefing. It doesn't appear in the clip that I've posted. But there was a point when he was asked about whether he discharged a firearm, and he said there was no gun. And again, he looked at his doctor, his lawyer. He said there was no gun. And so I think maybe these are his defenses or what he's gonna be arguing, or what his lawyer is going to be arguing in court, because the case was postponed, I think, to the 24th of August. That's when the case will continue again. So those seem to be the things that he will be arguing. I don't know, that the court fabricated the whole thing, that there was no gun, because that's what he said. He said there was no gun. So those are things that I would leave to the court for the court to deal with when the time comes. But what is of interest to me is this whole idea of religion that then comes into place. I put God first, all of these, God, the truth will prevail, God, 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 God. That's what I really want to discuss. In fact, it's two things, but I want to deal with the God one first. It's always interesting to me how people are always quick, particularly when they need to rebrand or to present themselves as a different person, or if they want to gain the favor of the public, they will start appealing to God. And that's what exactly what Jub Jub is doing. He's appealing to God, in this whole thing. Um, and what begs the question is, like, in this whole scenario, where was God, even in it in the beginning, with what you did, if he did do that? I don't know. It's for the court to decide. But my issue is when people are in trouble and then they start to use the name of God in order to get out of that trouble, or in order to gain the favor of the public. Remember, even Didi, in his court case, was starting to use God. I mean, he had a Bible. There was a Bible there that he was taking with to court. And another person who, Russell Brand, for instance, has been accused of SA in England. And when he was going to court as well, he was bringing his Bible, to court. And then the interesting thing is that there was this interview with Piers Morgan, and he asked him where was he reading, and that's when he was caught in that, because it seemed like to everybody who watched the Piers Morgan interview, that he was not even reading the Bible. Like, he was not even, like, he couldn't even come up. When you read the Bible, like, if you are someone who reads the Bible, scriptures can just come to you at that. They can just immediately come to you. The scriptures could not even just the one that he could just lie and say, "Oh, I was reading John," or "I was reading this." It just could not come to him, like the verses or what he was saying. He was clearly caught in a lie. I don't know if anyone actually saw that interview. It was viral. But it's really an example of how people like to use God when they're in trouble. Because when you look at Russell Brand, for instance, he was always New Age type religion. And then suddenly, when he was accused of sexual violences against different women, all of a sudden, he became a Christian. He was baptized, and it was all the whole performative thing. And this is the sense that I get with Jub Jub as well, that you are in trouble and now you want to use God to be able to redirect people's attention away from what has been said you've done to God. And there were people, I saw some of the comments in the video that I posted. There were people in that video who were, oh, all of a sudden, oh, God protect you, this and this. He knows that there are people in religion who are easily manipulated. They're easily manipulated. All you have to do is to throw God at them or throw scripture at them, and all of a sudden, they suddenly gain this favor. So that's what I feel like he's doing. I don't know. What do you think he's doing? Tell me in the comments. Do you believe him? Um, so I think that's the first thing that I noticed. It's even, within that American doctor, she's not a doctor, Cheyenne Bryant, who was going around saying she's a therapist, only to for I think information to come out that she actually does not even have a doctorate and cannot produce a doctorate. She's the American Dr. Myth. She couldn't produce the doctorate that she that she said that she had. And all of a sudden she was saying that she answers to God, that she answers to God and not to man, that she's obedient to God and not to men. So this is what people do. They're caught in a lie, they're caught in some sort of trouble, and instead of dealing with the issues head on, they start using God to redirect people's attention away from what they've done. So this is just my whole opinion on the whole religion thing. That's what people usually do. And usually the guilty ones. Now let me continue. So that was the first thing. I said I noticed two things, the religion one that I want to discuss. The second one is when he said that, he's accused like any other black man, like any successful black man. Now he's appealing to race. You see, he's now also trying to use race to redirect people away from his charges, from what he probably has done or has not done. It's for the court to decide. But he's redirecting people's attention by now appealing to race. Where now, because with the first one about religion, so the whole thing is for naive or gullible Christians to be able to just join in and be like, you see what they're doing? Yeah, God protect you, all of that. It's for the gullible people to fall for that. I'm not saying all Christian, but because I'm a Christian too, and I didn't fall for that. Um, and now as well, what he's appealing to by talking about, like any successful black man, now he's appealing to raise, he's appealing to not only black men, but like black people who feel like black people are always that there's a target, that there is a specific target on black men, you know, that there's this target on successful black men. People are trying to bring down successful black men, particularly in the USA. This is often used a lot. People were doing the same thing with Diddy to say, oh, the black man, they're targeting the black man. They did it with Jay-Z when there was that whole thing where there was a person who's no longer 13 who was saying Jay did this or that to her back in the past we did when she was 13. People were saying, he see this the in fact Marjorie Harvey, who's married to Steve Harvey, when Jay-Z was cleared of that, when that case was dismissed, and when A$AP Rocky, Rihanna's baby daddy, was declared innocent by the courts of that court case that he had. She posted both of their photos on her Instagram and said, two black families have been saved today. So that's the sentiment that Jub Jub is appealing to. It is used a lot in the USA. Like a lot of the cases, Bill Cosby, some people are like, oh, black man, um, you know, um, Michael Jackson, black man. And I'm not saying that in every case, I don't know the Michael Jackson or whatever, but people like to appeal to this whole thing and say, oh, the black man, the black man. There's a target on the black man. And so he's using the same thing to say, I'm being targeted as a black man. Um, and why would anyone target Jub Jub for being a successful black man? Like, what does he stand for? What has he done in his life? If someone says, for instance, they say, oh, Bill Cosby's been targeted because he's black. There's so much that Bill Cosby had done for the black community in the USA that, like, if there was no evidence, but of course there was evidence of the things that he actually did, that he actually dragged the woman. So there was actually evidence. And so this is also the point where you can't always use that argument that black people, it's that there's a conspiracy against black men. Because at the end of the day, if there's actual evidence that you've done the things that you are accused of, can we say that you are being targeted because you are black? Can we really say that you're actually being targeted because you're black? In the case of Jub Jub, I don't think Jub Jub is being targeted in this case for being black, because I don't know what is it that he's actually doing for the black community that will make anyone target him to try to destroy him as a success. Like, what exactly is he doing? What is he achieving for the black community that is so significant that someone will say, we have to get rid of Jub Jub because Jub Jub is doing so much for the black community? So the argument just falls flat. It really does, because at the end of the day, there is nothing significant that he's doing as a black man that will warrant anyone actually going against him. And even if there was something significant, like I said, with Bill Cosby, there was actually good work that he had done as a black man. But even if that is the case, if the evidence suggests that you have actually done what you are being accused of, then the argument again, it falls. We can't take you seriously. It does not matter. Good works cannot exempt you from what you have done. If you have committed a crime, you have to face the consequences of that crime. Whether you are doing good works or whether you are not doing good works, you have to face that. So this is my whole opinion on this press briefing that Jub Jub had today. The cop issue, the gun issue, those will be handled in court. But I know that in court, they're not going to listen to religion and this whole conspiracy, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. So I'm just discussing those here. I would like to know what you think. What do you think about anything that I've said? What do you think about what Jub Jub has said? Leave your own comments. Like and subscribe. I will see you next time.